Welcome to the OAPN Podcast with your host, Adarsh Sakare. No bullshit, no cuts. 100% raw conversations with 0% fucks to give. We don't encourage the consumption of alcohol, but if you want to open up a cold one while you watch this, it's not a bad idea.
Welcome to episode number 44 of On a Personal Note with Adarsh Sakare. The last, I think, 3-4 months have been pretty rough for us. Not in terms of times being bad, but times being very busy. And as much as we have wanted to keep this regular, I think we haven't been able to. But I don't think that has stopped us for sure because, some of them started asking like why the irregularity and all of that. But the way we've always seen it is this is a long-term project of connecting people and stories, and we understand that the journey is not always smooth. So we're back today. We're back with another guest, and December is looking good for us. We have quite a few interesting guests coming up here so that you all get to listen to their stories. Today we have another interesting person in the studio, very positive, very calm, very pleasant. And before I describe more about her, first let's say hi to Ayeesha Fathima.
Hello.
Hi Ayeesha, how are you?
I'm good.
Did you have any classes today?
Sunday.
So you don't take any classes on Sunday?
No, I don't work on Sundays.
Never?
I used to initially, but then I realized no, I also need a break.
So now you take it like a complete off day?
Yeah, complete off day. Only Monday to Saturday.
So for those of you who know Ayeesha, great. Then this is a chance for you to know her a little more, especially the ones who take classes from her, who are friends of her, but maybe don't know what she really does in her life. For those of you who don't know her, this is also a great opportunity for you because you'll gain a new perspective, and I'm sure she's someone that, you can follow on Instagram for sure, see her work, and I'm sure there's something to gain from there for you. Coming to what Ayeesha does, she's a yoga instructor. She is an aspiring psychologist. And I think, like I said, you just generally spread a lot of positivity. I think your presence has that vibe. And so let's understand where all this started. Why is Ayeesha who she is? Why is she doing what she does? What does she want to do? You all know the drill. So welcome to episode 44. So yes, Ayeesha, let's go to the very, simple question. Why did yoga start as part of your life? And what is yoga to you? Yeah.
Okay. So I think it started way back in school.
Okay.
But I hated the teacher.
You hated it?
Yeah. But like, what is she making me do? Why am I doing this? And we had I think 3 hours in a week, and it was mandatory, and we had to practice. So yeah, that started. I used to complain about the classes, but then theek hai. But I think because of that, my basics were pretty good. And after that, I think my post school, I didn't really practice yoga. I got busy with a number of things, and then. I think, but it stayed with me. And there was a phase where I kind of turned to it. So, there was this phase in my life where I had Googled like YouTube, and I was like, I checked, and I found this channel called Yoga with Adriene.
Yoga with Adriene.
Adriene, yeah. Oh my gosh, she's my inspiration.
Okay.
And I started off with her videos. So she would have like 20-30 minute videos, and I would follow that. Very easy to follow. And that's how I bounced back again to yoga because of her. And then that was there. And then again I tried a lot of things, doing a lot of things. And then finally I did my TTC in 2020.
What's TTC?
And that's my teacher's training.
Okay.
In
Certification.
yoga. Yeah. And then that's how it led to the start of that.
So you said you did have this experience in yoga back in school, but later on in life you turned towards it because of whatever, right? And then you felt more inclined towards it. What were the other things Ayeesha was doing at that point professionally, or were you not working anywhere? What was the scene then when that shift was happening?
Okay. I think, so before I think till my second PUC everything was like all fine, and you know, I was this first bench,
I can imagine.
Yeah, girl
Like,
student.
there's no doubt. Like, I don't know you, but no surprises there.
Yeah, like I would just study and you know that typical good girl who's attending classes and everything. And then TK, my first year degree started, okay, and I don't know what happened to him. I started bunking, and it became very frequent. And it's not like I'm going and chilling elsewhere. I used to like, you know, return back home, or I would stay in the campus itself. And
But you didn't want to sit in class.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit in class.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Like all of a sudden. But not really sudden, it was very gradually. But I could see, okay, this pattern is increasing. And then it went on, and I reached a state where I could not attend classes anymore. And I, to be honest, I had backlogs. I did not attend my exams.
Wow.
And nobody knows anything about this at home. And I also have this guilt, okay, why am I doing this? I'm not really understanding it. And I also started getting panic attacks. So, but I didn't know there's a term called panic attack or anything, you know, back then. It was just like, okay, I'm feeling breathless. I feel like crying out of the blue, and I'm with a group of people and I just want to get back home. So that isolation started. And I didn't know, I had no idea that, you know, I didn't know there's a concept called mental health, or I think we didn't even have that awareness. And then, I mean, it reached a state where I had to literally tell my mom that, please take me to a doctor, a psychiatrist maybe, take me there. And then, yeah, she was very supportive, and yeah, she took me there, and then there I got to know that I was diagnosed with clinical depression. And nobody knew anything, and it's very gradual. It's never evident, and it can happen, right? And then uske baad we were like, okay, they put me on medications, and I had therapy session, counseling and everything. But by then I had like properly withdrawn from, you know, college. I had no attendance. I was not eligible.
Which year was this of college?
I think this was in 2014 or something.
Wow, so second year?
Yeah, second year.
Second year
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah. So I dropped out completely, and I was socially withdrawn as well. So now, okay, the medication started working, and I think for a good 6 months, I didn't really socialize with anyone. I was at home, and that's when I started practicing yoga with Adrian.
Oh.
So yeah, that was that period, because at home I had nothing to do. I had internet, I had yoga, and the doctor had told that you have to exercise and, you know, some form of exercise, and I think yoga clicked for me. Yeah, it really worked for me. And then post that, finally I made up my mind that no, I want to study again. You know, I don't know.
What had you taken up
stay at home.
when you...
So yeah, back then I had taken psychology, economics and sociology. Those were my combination, bachelors of arts. So now I wanted to go back and start over again. And then yeah, that also took a lot of time to convince myself and my family as well. And then yeah, finally by the time I went there, the admissions were closed, and then TK, you know, I just got into some college, and yeah, okay, I started off again. So I think when I started going to college again,
Now what did
really
you
helped.
sign up for?
I signed up for psychology, literature and journalism. So psychology was there.
You added, changed the other two subjects.
Yeah, because I was not really interested in economics and all that.
Got it.
Yeah, so I started doing that. And there I had a bunch of very ambitious, you know, friends, and we all were like, chalo, start karte. And we started our education consultancy. So where we used to do like trainings, soft skill trainings, and we had one experienced partner in that. So she would take care of the field work, and I would do all the back-end content writing, and I used to develop content for those trainings. That was one side. And along with that, we started a brand. It was called Mocha DS. It was a filter coffee brand.
Mocha DS.
Mocha DS, yeah.
Okay.
Mocha plus DS God in Latin.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh, it was fun.
But why filter coffee?
I don't know. We just wanted to do something. And we had a contact. So one of our friends knew someone from Coorg. So we were like, you know, getting coffee
Sourcing it from there and...
Yeah. And we would, you know,
repack it.
Yeah, and we were trading it here.
Nice.
So that was happening. So all this we were doing along with college. So college is happening, and you know, on the weekends.
And you're practicing yoga at this phase?
For myself.
For yourself?
For myself. So that was happening.
Which has become your daily routine now?
Yeah, daily routine. So that was there. And then yeah, so these two startups after a point didn't work out by the time we reached our final year. And we were like we had a lot of issues with the partners and everything, so I decided to walk out of it. And I had completed my graduation by then, right? So now I didn't want to like just get into some job, like you know, my friends kept on telling ke aa jao, you know, interview hai idhar udhar, let's go do it. But I don't know, nothing
Proper
was
corporate.
yeah. But I don't know, nothing clicked.
Nothing
and
clicked.
yeah, I was
Wasn't
like no, I
connecting.
was just pushing it, you know. And then randomly one of my friend calls and she's like, I've given your number to these web designers, they'll reach you out for content. Because and I think you were doing some content writing na. So, I
So
was
you had some
like,
experience
yeah,
also.
but I had no idea like what exactly to do. And this person calls and he's like, hello Ayeesha, are you that content writer? I'm like, yeah. I act like I'm a pro, like you know. And then he was like, acha, what's your quotation and all of that. I had no idea what to quote. I'm like, can I get back to you by tomorrow? I'll send you a mail.
And then you're figuring out how much to charge him.
I'm like checking all my contacts, so any content writing friends, like what do I do? And then I was like, no, wait, let me you know, build a website. Went to GoDaddy, I bought one website. penpower.com. I made it, I edited it overnight. I made it look like, you know, I'm doing something. We are sorted, like you know, I have like loads of experience. And then the next day, I think I figured out the how much to code and all that, and I sent it to them. And they were like, okay, immediately, you know, yeah, all awesome. So I started getting projects. So I used to write for different things. I've written for colleges, for interior designing, websites, and you know, everything. So I was having a stable income. But I was not really again enjoying
it fully.
Yeah, and it was like I had to sit in a place and I have to just like you know keep writing, and it's like work from home. So yeah, but that went on for a good 1-2 years, I think. So I was freelancing basically.
This
And
was
then-
after college.
This was after
So you're like
college.
23, 24 by now.
Yeah, after college. So yeah, and also I had something to tell my dad that I'm doing some content writing.
So that they don't keep asking you
Exactly.
like, what's up?
Yeah, so that happened. And then, while content writing was happening, one of my friend was working in a government school. So he was teaching English over there, and they hardly had teachers. So he was like, free, matlab part-time, you can just like come and teach, but you'll not get paid or anything like that. I was like, okay, fine. Anyways, I was looking for something. So, okay, I'll do it. So, I think that was the best experience I had. I used to teach them everything. Because they hardly had teachers. We just enter, there's no teacher in a class, we take up that class. It was like that. And I used to teach them science. We used to have yoga on Saturdays. And I had the best time.
And this is a government school, basically.
Yeah.
So you taught what age group?
I think from 5th standard to high school. I mean, 10th.
No, but why did you take it up?
I don't know. I think teaching was, something
was there.
was there, and it interests me. Like because as soon as he told, because there were so many other jobs I could have done, and I felt like, okay, I'll go do it. But this one, as soon as he told, I was like, yeah. I didn't even think. Like I think I was like, yeah, I'll come.
The pay and all,
tomorrow.
nothing. No pay,
Pay
nothing.
and all low, some 8K or something I used to get, and yeah.
But that
pay
didn't
was-
bother you?
No, it didn't really bother me.
How long you did that for?
And I did that for, I think, almost a year, or maybe a little less than a year. So while I was doing that, so the content writing is not working out for me, and I didn't want to do that anymore. But at the same time, I can't even go to a job. And like, what do I do? And then, again, my friends were like, why don't you do something with yoga? Because that has been a part of
Yeah,
your
some
life.
nice friends, I think.
And I do. So I think, they were like, why don't you do a teacher's training and, you know, do something about yoga. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I went, I looked out for yoga academies, and one was close to my house. So I went, I got myself enrolled there. So that was again like a 6-7 months diploma course.
Training.
And and they signed me up for advanced level itself, because my basics were already good.
In place.
Yeah. So I joined that. So morning from 8:30 to 1 o'clock I used to teach in the school, And then from there, I used to go to my yoga academy and I used to train.
How many hours there?
There again, that we used to be there like
All the
7,
time.
8, you know, in the evening. And then I used to go back home. So yeah. So that was, you know, something I really enjoyed. Those 6, 7 months, we had books, we had exams, we had, you know, theory, practical, everything. And it was my thing. Like, you know, and we also used to attend the trainers who are already teaching there, so their sessions to observe how
To
they are
see
taking
how they do it.
yeah so I used to just be there in the studio basically. And yeah, after 6, 7 months, this was almost, I think I graduated in Jan 2020. I got my certification, everything, fresh yoga teacher with 0 experience, and the pandemic had to happen.
Oh, set up for failure. Almost.
I mean, I did so much. And now, okay. And I had no idea, हाँ. मतलब दूर से सुना था कि कुछ है, कोरोना वायरस कुछ है. I think Feb में थोड़ा सबने सुना था. So,
but you didn't believe in it.
I was like, okay, something's happening there. But yeah, so yeah, I was interviewing at Cult that time. Like I was waiting for them to respond.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll move out of this city, I'll go to a new city, you know, I'll go there, I'll do this. Okay. And then what happened? Yeah, before, I mean, in that process, when I was waiting for my interview call, like for them to return the call, I started teaching one of my teacher. So
Teacher from?
Teacher from MES, where I did my degree. So she was my psychology professor.
You were telling me.
So yeah, I started teaching her. So I used to go to her house and on the terrace.
How she got in touch with you?
She was my teacher, na, and online social media.
So she knew you do yoga, and she wanted.
Yeah. So I think in the college everyone knew about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got in touch with me, and we lived close by as well. So I used to go teach her, and then get back.
What was her need to learn yoga?
I think again. Most of them come for that peace of mind and that I want to deal with stress and all of that.
Be more calmer.
Yeah, more calmer, and that is the intent. Yeah, most of the time. And yeah, that was the intent with her as well. And yeah, so I used to teach 1 hour with her and one more, my friend's sister. So that, I think her house was somewhere in Vijayanagar, I don't know, that side. Okay, बहुत दूर. So I used to go there again, 1 hour teach, and then get back home again.
Wow, your days are only getting longer.
Yeah, and just
longer.
And just for 2 hours, I used to travel so much, and then come back home. And yeah, that I was doing. And then this finally cult thing happened. I was like super excited.
Oh, you got into cult?
Yeah.
Where, which branch did you?
It was in Mumbai, Vasai. I don't know which area that was. It was in Mumbai. So I got into cult, everything was
So all this is happening in Mumbai?
No, the interview and everything took place in Bangalore.
But the work was in Mumbai?
Work was in Mumbai.
Oh, so you moved to Mumbai?
No, I didn't.
Oh, but that's when the pandemic happened, no? So you didn't go only?
I didn't go. Like the job was confirmed there, but the training was supposed to happen here in Bangalore itself.
Okay.
But before the training happened, I mean before this training even started, the pandemic happened. So yeah. And now we were like, okay, they were like, we're sorry, we can't, let this go. So I was like, okay, now again I'm unemployed. I'm not even doing content writing.
Everything is shut.
Everything is shut. And then finally my professor was like, let's do a online session, what's it? And I'm like, okay, we started online. Starting it was very difficult for me to connect because for me it's very important I connect to the person in front of me, right? But yeah, I think with practice we also broke that barrier of a digital platform. And yeah, along with her, I started teaching 2-3 other friends of mine. Yeah, online itself. And then I think word of mouth, their friends, colleagues. And also on social media, I went like live 2-3 times. I promoted a little bit. And I used to go live often. I used to make, I started creating content. And even for that, I couldn't go out to even create content. So terrace and my room
was the scene.
Yeah, terrace pe I used to click yoga pictures, post.
Sunset, sunrise.
Everything on the terrace. No sunset, sunrise. One white wall ke peeche. And I'm clicking. And that also, I think, in between, someone got COVID in our building and they shut the terrace as well. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
Nietzsche
That is
in the
also
room.
gone.
Yes, in the room, just me, my mat, and my students are there.
Yeah.
So the entire day I used to prepare for my sessions. I enrolled for online courses as well in meditation and nutrition. I did 2 courses. So I was like full time just into yoga, and how can I make this 1 hour, with these people better. So yeah, I think after 6 months or something of 2020, I had already this experience, I'm teaching, I have my own set of classes. One of our mutual friend contacted the co-founder of Live Easy, and I got a call from them, an interview call, and yeah, that was done, that went well, and then I started teaching for them. So initially, even like with Live Easy, I was working for, I think, 3 sessions in a week, and then that increased. So it was like,
Now?
Until now, I was taking 2 sessions in a day, but now since I started my college,
1 session a day.
Yeah, 1 session a day.
So Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday.
How many students come up in a class?
It differs.
Range?
Yeah, sometimes there are 10, sometimes there are 2, 3,
Oh.
5. Like it differs.
Mm-hmm.
And but along with this, I had my own set of clients. So
That you deal with directly.
Yeah. So that was happening. So total 5 hours of yoga I was teaching in a day, and to prepare for that again, 2-3 hours I need.
So this was a nice overview you gave us, at least in terms of timeline wise, where it started, and with a couple of questions that were popping in my head, which I wanted to discuss. One of the first things I want to go back is to, you said, you suddenly started feeling this disinterest in college. You didn't feel like doing anything, and considering you're a first bench student who's bright, right? For that girl to go through something like this, and also you said I was diagnosed with clinical depression. What are the parameters that make it? Is there a lower version of depression? Is there a higher version of depression? What are the parameters that made them say that you're diagnosed with clinical depression? That is something I wanted to actually ask you. Yeah.
Okay. I think depression is very randomly used word right now, at least. I'm feeling depressed. Or I don't know, it's become very like a cool thing. At least today I see posts and people are very randomly using this word, which is highly insensitive, I feel. Depression is a mental health condition. And like you said, there are different types of depression. There are major depressive disorders. There are seasonal affective disorders, which only, depression which occurs in a particular season for you. So there's also, I'm discussing the types of depression here, right? And the parameters or the factors that lead to this are, I think, both physiological and psychological.
Okay.
Physiological, talking about the biology. So what actually happens when a person is dealing with depression is their neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers in the brain. So there is some imbalance or some abnormality in those. It could be because of genetic factors, again, heredity. I think depression also runs in families. So people who are born in such families, they are more susceptible to it. Again, you need a trigger. You need a trigger from the external.
For you to go from there to...
Yeah. So let's say you have depression in your genes. You need a trigger, an external environmental social factor to push that. Right? So I think a lot of factors contribute to depression today. And in my case also, there were a lot of things. It was genetic, it was social factors, it was my own psychological factor, my own self-image that I had, and the way I viewed the world back then. Plus, it was also my biology. It was my brain. Imbalance in serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. So all these chemicals. So I think everything together contribute to it. There's no one factor or just one thing that's happening. And also I think a lot of people think that if you just have a positive attitude and you know, if you're just grateful in life, you'll not really feel depressed. No, I think no amount of positive attitude or a good attitude towards life can help you if you're up against the biology of your own brain.
In that situation, now you, of course, thankfully you had your mom also helped you out and you met a professional, and which is amazing. There've been, like, tell me if I'm wrong, right? The two ways of dealing with situations like this. One is you deal with the situation, and one is you deal with the triggers itself. You figure out what the triggers are and why they affected you. Mostly people deal with the situation. Personally also, in my own personal journey, I used to think if I deal with this situation today and I'm out of it, I'm free. Only to realize that in the future those triggers can come again.
Right.
So if you're not really dealing with the triggers and understanding where they come from, you'll always just be involved in solving situations. So those triggers can be different for everyone, I understand. But what I wanted to ask you is, like, can people know how to deal with it for good? Like, say there's a trigger that leads you into depression for whatever reason, right? That trigger can be anything. Can you really learn to deal with these triggers for good?
Yeah, that's where therapy comes into picture. So basically, a therapist or a psychologist is helping you get equipped to dealing with these triggers. So we are basically teaching skills. We are facilitating you with those skills where you can take care of yourself, because stressors and triggers are always going to be there, right? But you become equipped enough through therapy, through your treatment, through medication, so that you can deal with these challenges.
And did you very clearly understand what your triggers were at that point, why those things were happening, and how was it for you? Did it take a very long time to deal with them? Are you still dealing with them? Yeah, what was it for you?
I think it did take a lot of time, and I'm still dealing with it, and I will be. I think it's a journey. There's no, like, okay, ab ho gaya. Now, I know it all.
Yeah.
I know how to deal with everything. No, it does not
You
work
can't
like
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever say,
Yeah.
now nothing can hit
Now
me.
nothing can hit me, or I'm like this, full resilient now. Nothing can go wrong. No, I think the triggers, the stresses will always be there. But I think when that self-awareness happens, I think that's a game changer. But that again will happen. I mean, it will not happen overnight. Enlightenment is not going to happen. You have to seek help for that. And at the same time, you have to be, you should be ready to put that work in. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of practice. And you need that drive, that motivation. I think more than motivation, you need that discipline to do that. I think discipline will take you, a long way. Showing up for yourself. And like I said, going back to the self-awareness point, understanding your own patterns, or your own way of thinking. Once you become aware of that, there is scope for change. I think most of us are not even aware of that. Or, aware that there are these patterns. Like you said, we are mostly dealing with the situation, but not really going to the root of it, or the trigger. Where is it coming from? And if you put that little effort to get there, maybe with help, of course, we can't really do everything on our own. With help, at least, if we get there, no? That's the starting point.
That's the starting point. So, a lot of times in my own life where I've gone through, like, the worst. I mean, I had my own journey in terms of understanding. I don't know if I'm too clear on what depression is as a concept, but anxiety, yes. High levels of anxiety I've felt. I've been there and had my share of it. There's this one view of, when you say you have to do a lot of self-work, right? the way I see it is you have to spend a lot of time by yourself, right? You have to really sit with yourself, like for hours if required, to try to get to ask yourself certain questions, write things down, maybe get to the bottom of all of this. I know this will come across as a generic question, but I just still want to dig your brain on this. Today when we say, okay, there's a therapist, or say we've diagnosed you with this or that, and then there are certain tools in place, let it be meditation or any other physical practice, but along with certain medication, let it be tablets, let it be anything. Are we in a day where we feel these things cannot be fought without medication? I mean, was human ever capable of dealing with these things by himself or herself without any external medication, I'm saying? I know there's different types of medication and it helps, and there's like tremendous work that's going on with it. But I'm just saying, like, as a human being, if we were born a certain way, I just have a feeling that we can deal with it without, not like you can speak to people and get that help, but do we need any, medication? Can you do it without medication? That is something I've been thinking about, and I wanted to know your thoughts on it.
Okay. I think we all have issues to some, we all have anxiety to some extent. We all feel sad. We all feel almost all the symptoms that a mental health condition, diagnosed person feels, right? But what is the difference between us and the people who are actually diagnosed with so-and-so mental health illness? The difference is that whatever we're feeling is not really affecting our everyday, at least to not a huge extent, right? So I feel when your functionality is being affected, then you need medication, you need therapy, you need that. If we have not reached that end of the spectrum, maybe we can still deal, on our own. Maybe we can read books, we can talk to people, do our own, like you said, spend time with yourself, meditate, run, do your thing, do your work. Yes, very good, awesome. But if the functionality is getting deteriorated, then seek help.
But that is the line. I feel today that line is not being drawn right. I feel like people resort to medication too early. I really strongly feel that the threshold before which you need any external help, right, has reduced a lot. I feel like human is more capable of beating some of these things. Today, the second some type of exposure to anxiety is there, some type of defeat, failure is there, you're almost immediately jumping for help, saying, no, I want help.
Okay.
But maybe I'm just saying, can we ask people to take a moment before saying, I need help? Take a moment for yourself. Can you do it by yourself?
I think it's very subjective. And but if you have a fever, you'll go to the doctor, no?
Yeah.
So if you really feel like, no, I cannot take this anymore, then it's okay to go to a
I think
psychologist.
It's person to person.
Yeah. And the threshold also differs, right? See, that's what I'm saying. It's not only your biology; it is also your psychological, factors that contribute to it. So maybe you're a resilient and you have clarity and you have a good self-esteem. Then maybe you're more capable of handling the situation. And if you have a low self-esteem, then even thoda sa biology mein imbalances happens, you will not have that energy to deal with it on your own. So I feel it's very subjective. And if one cannot take, we cannot judge. One more thing is we cannot tell no, your anxiety is less compared to that
person's experience is unique to that person.
I think we cannot judge the trauma or the level of
the intensity with which it has affected them.
Exactly. We cannot do that. And that way you can just categorize, you should not be depressed, and that person should be depressed
Should
and
be
all.
depressed,
Those things. So it's very subjective.
So when when say you've done a lot of, now you're studying also, you're an aspiring psychologist, you teach yoga, you have this experience of dealing with things yourself. Would it be right for me to say it is very tough for someone to hurt you, or do you still easily get hurt by things?
My things.
Because there's so much work also that's gone in, no? Do you grow stronger with doing all this?
Yeah, I think yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I see the old Ayeesha and, today, I'm much more resilient as a person. I'm much more, I think right now, I feel love within, for things, for people. And I was not like that back then. So I've definitely grown as a person, and all the work that I've put in it definitely shows. Like, for example, I'm in a situation, I know I'm dealing it in a very different way than I used to.
Okay.
So I see the difference.
So that difference is definitely
difference
there.
is definitely there, but it's not like I won't get hurt at all. I'm also human, and I also want to feel that emotion of getting hurt.
You just get better with understanding things.
What I do about that hurt, maybe, What I do about that hurt. How do I channel?
It'll still happen.
It'll still happen.
But it's the way you deal with it.
Yeah.
What has yoga taught you?
Yoga.
But I know I'm asking two questions, but I'll ask you so that you can. And so this is a conversation I was having with a friend recently. We went out to this cafe. He had some books. And this book was, I think, written by Dalai Lama, if I'm not wrong. And he says in the first page, I'm going to teach you all the types of meditation. This book will help you understand the scope of types of meditation, which will help you get to enlightenment, or whatever, the different words for it. And I've been asking this question a lot of places. I have not got the answer. Let's see I don't know if you have the answer. Okay. So there's this one, so we'll look at meditation on this side, we'll look at enlightenment on this side. So the first thing is, they say if you meditate a lot, if you meditate for a very long time, then maybe you will find the truth, or maybe you might get enlightened. And then the other thing is, they'll say there are different types of meditation. Meditation is subjective. And some people will sit and meditate. Some people will say dance is meditation. Okay. Now, some people will say, me painting is meditation for me. Me cooking is meditation for me. But when you define meditation, then all this comes. But when you speak about enlightenment, the only definition of meditation that works is that is not adding up. That means if I dance also, if I'm calling dance as meditation also, it should take me to enlightenment, no? Why that's not there? So this, first, like what has yoga done to you, and then maybe if you can share your words on
I
this.
think I'll speak about this first.
Okay, go for it.
What is enlightenment?
According to me, I don't know.
I think,
maybe
that again.
Maybe if I really had to answer, I would say tapping into part of the mind that maybe I don't have access to right now.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe experiencing things very differently than I am currently experiencing. Maybe that much I can say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think according to me, it is the journey from ignorance to light. And I think that's what yoga did to me as well. So I think enlightenment is like a very big word, and you're like, something which we don't experience every day. And no, I think it's in your everyday. It is your everyday. It is the everyday activities that you do. It is your routine. It is you spending time with yourself. It is you understanding yourself in a better way. And all these meditation practice, everything, they just have one goal. And that goal, according to me, is that to build a relationship with yourself.
Mm.
I think that's what meditation is to me.
Okay.
No matter what type. No matter it is dancing, painting, cooking, sitting in a place and meditating. There are so many kinds of meditations, right? So I think all kinds of meditation, the main intention behind that is to develop that relationship with yourself. And it does not matter which path you're choosing. If you're enjoying it, if you're able to make time for yourself. Why do you meditate, or why do you practice yoga, or not just yoga? Let's talk about other, forms of exercises. It could be running, it could be swimming, whatever your thing is. Why do you do that? It's a way of, I think, reminding yourself that you are capable of making yourself happy, or you're capable of taking care of yourself. You're capable of making time for yourself despite of all the challenges that you have in a day. So I think that 1 hour or whatever you are dedicating to it, that's it. That affects the entire, that affects all the aspects of your life. And that is an enlightenment for me. It's happening every day. It's nothing, it's about this moment. Am I living it? Am I actually here? Am I aware? Am I feeling that peace right now? Or am I thinking about doing something else, or I'm going, blah, blah, blah.
Distracted.
Am I there or am I here?
What do you feel about people who choose only meditation and nothing else in life? They just want to meditate all day. They leave their families. They leave everything behind. What is your view on that?
I don't know. I think it's very subjective. I don't know what is their intention, really.
I find it
I don't know.
very fascinating, right?
It is.
There's thousands of people across the world who just leave everything behind to say, no, now I'll meditate for the rest of my life. It's very tough to wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
When all these students have come to you over time, I'm sure some of the students have stayed for some time, right? And I think they'll continue to stay also. They'll say, no, I want to practice only with you. Because there's also this level of personal relationship you build with each of your clients. What are the changes you have seen in some of them? And without taking any names, if you can give me some example of how someone changed due to your classes or coaching or whatever you call it, I want to get that also.
Yeah, I think from the feedbacks that I've got from these beautiful people, I think I've connected with so many, and like you said, there is that connect, and I think we resonate, on the same thing.
You and that person.
Yeah, me and my students. So if I have to talk about someone, I think, So one of my students,
Okay.
I think initially when she started off, she was not really that comfortable in her own skin.
Okay.
And she got back to me. We have trained for proper 2 years now, and because of my college and everything, I had to let go of some of my classes. So because of that, we had to.
That'll be painful. Huh?
Yeah, it was so bittersweet.
To tell them that I don't have time for you anymore.
I know, and it was so bittersweet because this is also something I want to do, and to let go as well. So I think the entire journey, it was a journey for her. Initially, I think just to show up, it was a task for her to just show up that 1 hour for herself. But then she was like, no, I have to do this, and she signed up so that she's more accountable. And I think in that journey, it was a self-realization, or maybe it was a evolutionary one for her. Right now, I think she's in a place where she has that self-acceptance, and she's become more confident in whatever she does, and she's enjoying herself and the life around, and I can see that, and it's so beautiful to just see her grow. Oh my God, it's lovely. It's so lovely to see that.
But this is, I mean, tell me.
And she was also moving, like it was a very big change in her life. So she was moving from one place to another. So, she said that this 1 hour that she spent time with herself, taking care of herself, made her, deal with other things in a better way. Yeah, these are her words.
Are there a lot of, during your session, are there a lot of affirmations you give them? Because I think, do affirmations work, you think?
Okay. So I don't give affirmations throughout the session.
Okay.
So basically by sessions, first we have asana practice. We start with asana practice.
Okay.
And then we end with your pranayam and meditation. So during the meditation, again we have different types of meditation, right? So sometimes I just prompt numbers. So we do 21 breaths.
Okay.
So, that's one style of focusing, in the moment. And then comes mantra meditation. Mantra as an affirmation that we are over and over again, I mean, I'm saying it out loud and they're listening to it. And then there's something called guided imagery. So I have different scenarios for them where we are going through or we are visualizing, maybe a beautiful scenery or maybe or he or she is in a particular place. So there are different kinds of things. So the affirmation part comes there. So yes, I do chat a lot of meditations with them. And I'm telling you, see, if you're just going to sit and say, I'm love, I'm peace, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I wish it was like that, but it's not a magic pill.
Yeah, because how many books tell you to do that? No, every day wake up, say, I am loved.
On Instagram, I think there are so many real, wake up, stand in
every
front
day,
of the mirror.
And read this.
Yeah, read this.
Only if it was that easy.
No, it's just that is not going to work. You have to put in, work. You have to put in all those efforts. It's just like very one tiny, drop let in the ocean. And and also I think it helps if you're doing it on a regular basis, along with everything else, not just this mentioning again. Because I think self-talk is very important. Because we all have this self-critique in our head. It's like all the time, nahi, you can't do this, you're like this, you're like that. So I think that will calm down a little bit if you're feeding some positive words to yourself. And it's also like they say, your company should be good, friends should be good. Why do you say that? Because you get to hear positive energies, you get to hear, words which help you grow, right? So I think affirmations do that. But again, they're not magic pill.
They're not.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with yoga in the future?
I mean, I will continue teaching yoga, and because of obviously my studies, I had to cut it down. But I really hope to increase the sessions. But I don't think so it'll happen anytime soon. At least not for these next 2 years. But yeah, yoga is always going to be there.
Why do you think today, there's such a need for yoga, or there's such a need for meditation, and just generally the anxiety levels are very high, especially with our age group, right? Why do you think that is? I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but what is your thoughts on it?
I think a lot of hustle culture is also leading to that. And I feel social media is leading to a lot of comparisons and, we're basically... See, at this rate, I think we'll never be happy or satisfied because there's someone doing something, more than what you are. And I think we're overexposed to information. Pehle we just knew about our neighbors, 2-3 friends.
Which was enough to deal with.
Peaceful life. But right now, you just type and
there's so much.
Yeah, exactly. We're so exposed to stimulations constantly. And I feel we are in that constant need of increasing our dopamine. That's what happens now. You pick up your phone, there's something you're watching, okay, there's a hit, and we're so addicted to that stimulation that we keep on, going, on and on to that, and we kind of lose out. We forget our priorities, our goals, and I don't think so. We are living an intentional life. And I think that is a trigger factor, a very major trigger factor for anxiety, be it depression or any kind of mental health condition. apart from that, I feel also as a society we are becoming very individualistic. Like,
Yeah.
self-love, self-this, that.
Everything is alone.
Yeah, me, and I think we're like, I don't need anyone kind of, attitude. And I think then when will we make those connections? Or I feel people you need, loved ones around you. To have you need that support system, because we are humans, we are social animals, we need that community. So I think that is kind of the individualistic culture is also, it could be one of the factors, I feel. And
Yeah, because like look at us, right? Like we have, and I'm like personally, I'm myself like I don't want to be a victim of this anymore. Like there's amazing education that we got. We can buy whatever we want because we have the ability to earn and whatever.
we are privileged.
We've met like the best people, and still like 6-7 out of 10 days we wake up not happy. Like really, like this become a joke. Like I myself like laugh at, like, dude, what is up? I mean, I'm 28 years old, and like more than half my life I wished for half the things I have now, and it's there, it's given. You worked for it, it's there, but still you wake up and you say, this is not enough.
See, we are not grateful. I think we should practice gratitude religiously, and because if you're grateful for each and everything and you keep practicing that, it should be a habit. I think you should be habituated to feeling gratitude, feeling grateful for things, for people, for where you are.
But I'll tell you where the confusion is. When you start looking that way, right, there's this thing of, oh, that means I'm satisfied with what I have. Because on the external, people are saying you cannot be satisfied with what you have.
Right.
If you're not hustling, like you said, if you're not craving for more, if you're not hungry for big success, then you're content, you're mediocre. So that, I think, is the bigger problem.
Yeah.
It's like mediocrity and being content has been made the same thing.
Same thing.
If you're content, you're mediocre. You don't want bigger things in life.
You're just settling.
You're just settling for it. And sometimes people are okay with mediocre because they want to have balance in their life. They want some of this, some of that, some of this. But because everyone else around is saying you're mediocre, now they say, oh, maybe this is not the right way of doing things.
Yeah.
And then create that imbalance and suffer that imbalance. I really feel like we are stuck in this cycle.
Yeah, definitely. And the point that you made, I think that was very important, that if you're not doing something great, then you're considered, nothing, a nobody. But I think it's a skill that you have to develop, of letting go. This actually, I read it, in a book. And I don't know, it hit me. And I think it stuck with me. So they basically in the book, it's explained the concept of letting go. Okay. Like you said, I think most of us think letting go means giving up, settling for less, just being content with whatever you have right now. You can feel content, you can feel satisfied for whatever you're doing or wherever you are right now. And at the same time, you can work towards a higher goal. You can still work towards your preferred reality. You can still work towards that. People think if you're content and you're happy right now, it does not mean you're giving that up.
Yeah.
Like, I am very happy right now. I am very satisfied. I'm at peace with whatever I'm doing in life. But at the same time, I do have goals.
Yeah.
I do want to get somewhere. I do want to do this, that. So I can still work on that. Without letting that so-called destination, whatever, define my present. I can still feel at peace and have higher goals, bigger dreams.
Yeah, I think to create that balance is the main thing. Is to understand. And I think it's also about asking yourself what you want. Because some people just genuinely enjoy hustling every day. That's who they are.
Yeah.
They live on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But if you're that person, great. But if you're not, there's nothing wrong in it.
Yeah.
Like half the people are like, oh, I don't have any great goals. So does that mean like I'm nothing?
What is the definition of great goals and goals?
That is Instagram's definitions, no. So
so
Instagram's definitions of great success is so deeply ingrained in people now. People are growing up on those definitions of success. It is so sad. Like a 16-year-old today is drawing the definition of success by looking at what is there on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one of the biggest heartbreaks, I think.
And also, I think the comparison, a 16-year-old is comparing himself or herself with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the first step and the person is in their 50th step. And you're comparing these steps.
Yeah. It takes time.
It takes time. The person has worked for years to get there. And you're comparing yourself with that. I think, yeah.
What are some of those habits that you live on a day-to-day basis? For example, not using my phone beyond 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Example. What are those some small habits that you follow that keep you very grounded and, at peace?
Yeah. So my phone, I've switched off all the notifications.
Okay.
It's like everything. My
No
WhatsApp, my
that's nice.
Instagram, all the notifications are switched off. Only the call notifications.
Oh, that's actually amazing, no? So you don't get like the Swiggy, are you hungry and all that?
No, those random things I...
Boss, that is my biggest problem. Are you hungry? I'll order it.
So yeah, I think most of these, the apps where I'm going to frequently get notifications, I have switched it off. And I think the only calls wala option is on because obviously I want to stay in touch. So it's like when I want to use or I want to reply to someone, that's the only time I'm coming online. And if I have to post something, I'll post. I do check Instagram. It's not like I don't. But again, see, because of that constant, there's no ting happening where I'm like, doing that. So I don't do that. And also other habits, I think...
your morning routine, what are things in place?
So I think, having that routine, waking up. And at least before college, I used to, take the sessions, make my breakfast. And that was like, cooking breakfast for myself was a very grounding thing, at least for me.
You.
It's like the favorite meal of my day. So that would help me, have that. I like my mornings to be very slow and, have that pace. And also I think, 1 hour of any physical activity. If I'm not able to practice yoga, at least it could be walking. So, anything, like 1 hour of just me doing some physical activity. And and even the phone also, I think, in the night, at least on the bed, because you'll get conditioned to, like, as soon as
you don't keep the phone on the bed?
I keep it far. I do use my phone, but it's not like, I'm like asked together, staying there. Something important, finish it off and keep the alarm, keep it away.
That wine yoga, you were saying something. You can
No,
please tell our viewers what is this wine
let
and yoga combination?
be yoga. I don't know why people are doing
So what is
this.
there something called wine yoga?
Yeah, it's just
Okay,
like
what is it?
Reddit
They drink and then do yoga?
Yeah, they drink and they do yoga, and they have made it like a gymnastic thing. They have made it dance and whatnot. I think there are so very hip hop yoga is there, and all those things. So all I'm saying is let yoga be yoga. Just don't do that.
Don't adulterate it.
Don't adulterate that.
So last question for you. It is very, very tough to be peaceful today. Like the world is not fair. The world has a lot of bad people, a lot of negative energy, and some of us have been lucky enough to learn how to keep these things away and protect ourselves. But not everyone is that lucky. Not everyone has learnt the way of the world. Not everyone has learnt how to keep themselves at distance from some of these factors, right? yeah, like I want to end with asking you, what is that one thing you want to tell people in terms of how do we enjoy this life better, and how do we be in a better state of mind on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, and to the camera, not so.
Okay. I think, again, there is not one thing that you can do. I think those little habits that you have every day, those little things that you do every day, is what impacts your life. It is what impacts, how you perceive life. So if you can build good habits, try to practice gratitude, keep your loved ones close, and I think learning to do things from love, not for love, will help you maintain that peace, will help you feel at peace with where you are right now. Because once you do things from love, then I think you'll be less disappointed. And if you're doing things for love, then you'll have more expectations, more, hurt, you'll get resentment, etc., etc. So I think learning to come from a place of love would be the game changer.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you so much. There's a lot of other things we can speak about, but yeah, I think this 1 hour was pretty awesome. And sorry if I dug too deep with questions, but that I think my mind just keeps racing with questions, and if I don't ask them, then I can't stop myself. So thank you so much for being so open and sharing your thoughts and coming here all the way from Ganganagar, RT Nagar, Ganganagar. So thank you so much for doing that. I hope you enjoyed this. I mean, now it's your turn to say yes, I did.
Yes, I know. Oh, I had a really good time.
I'm like, okay, maybe not.
No, I was waiting for you to finish.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here. I think we had a very lovely conversation. Good energies exchanged. So I thank you again.
Awesome. So that was Ayeesha Fathima, episode 44. That was quite a powerful episode. I think lots of thoughts were exchanged. I think when we once it's out and we sit and see it, we'll remember everything we spoke about.
Yeah.
But I tried capturing as much as possible. And I hope this was the most authentic way you all have seen Ayeesha. That was the only intent. If you liked it, let us know. If you have questions for her, you can always let her know. But thank you so much for being here. See you all on the next one.